Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all having a great day and that you are all doing well. Without further ado, let's jump right into it. Alex Kruger, a well-recognized cryptocurrency trader and technical analyst, has said that Bakkt will lead the recovery of Bitcoin throughout 2018 and the first quarter of 2019. But Kruger explained that the rejection of the Bitcoin ETF, or the exchange traded fund, filing of VanEck, SolidX, and the Chicago Board Options Exchange, or the CBOE, will lead to the crash of Bitcoin, possibly back down to the $6,000 level support, and in worst case scenarios to the $4,000 region. He said possible outlook for BTC: first, bull run on Bakkt and renewed ETF approval narrative for early 2019. Second, ETF denied February 27th. Massive crash, goodbye 6K, hello 4K, cleanse all weak hands. Lastly, happening 2020 narrative and readjustments led to sustained bull market for the rest of 2019 and 2020, end quote. Bakkt, which is a strictly regulated cryptocurrency trading platform developed by ICE, or the Intercontinental Exchange, which is the parent company of the New York Stock Exchange, is currently in the process of establishing an ecosystem that enables both retail traders and institutional investors to invest in the cryptocurrency market with sufficient investor protection and through products that are compliant with local regulations in the United States. In December, Bakkt is expected to launch a cryptocurrency futures market, further increasing the liquidity of Bitcoin. Previously, the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, or the SEC, rejected 9 Bitcoin ETFs on the premise that the Bitcoin futures market is not of sufficient size to handle an ETF. Quick side note for those who are paying attention to the date: the 9 that they are reviewing over we're expected to have news sometime relatively soon as to if the SEC is going to allow any of these 9 rejected Bitcoin ETFs. I told you guys before, don't even hold your breath, and I sincerely hope that the market is not up, at least at the time of me making this video, because of future hopes that an ETF is going to be pushed through. They rejected 9 before, and I can only assume that they're going to reject 9 once again. The entrance of Bakkt into the cryptocurrency exchange market, the involvement of Bitcoin futures market operator CBOE in the VanEck ETF, and the track record of the VanEck in filing over 200 successful ETFs, I'm so used to saying Bitcoin ETF, with the SEC, have led to an increase in anticipation towards the VanEck SolidX Bitcoin ETF. Throughout the next 2 to 3 months, technical analyst Alex Kruger emphasized that renewed enthusiasm toward the market initiated by Bakkt and the VanEck ETF will allow the price of Bitcoin to climb back to major resistance levels. Since August, Bitcoin has failed to break out of the $6,000 region due to its low trading volume and relatively low trading activity in the global cryptocurrency exchange market. Hence, as of now, the market needs a major catalyst to engage a proper short-term rally and upside movement, and the 2 financial institutions could be a major factor that may trigger the price of Bitcoin to increase. Depending on where you look or where you look around, a lot of people think hypotheticals that when Bakkt gets started, or what is it, the 12th of December, that's a lot of people aren't paying attention to exactly how much money is going to be put into the Bitcoin futures, i.e. a lot of people think that is going to be people, buying half a Bitcoin, buying a fourth of a Bitcoin. It's expected that because they are the New York Stock Exchange, that they are going to already have major players inside of it who are going to be trading anywhere from 10, 15 million, $20 million per day through the futures market, as these futures will be settled every 24 hours, which means that we are not going to have the same exact situation before, where we had the other Bitcoin futures that were, what was it? They were like every 6 months or something like that. So a 24-hour settled Bitcoin physical futures contract with people potentially, hopefully, trading millions of dollars back and forth between themselves is expected to have a very good movement, or rather very good effect on the price of Bitcoin. Like I said, people are saying anywhere between $10,000 to $15,000. This is where this $4,000 kind of comes into question, because I think the 4,000, us hitting 4,000 again, is reliant on the market not moving at all in December, or even in anticipation of December when this thing is actually going to launch. I sincerely hope, because as of right now, I think typically when you look around, the resistance levels for Bitcoin are constantly quoted as 8,000. obviously 10,000. 10,000 is the magic number that we need to hit. People think that the mental breakage of hitting 10,000 will allow us to once again completely float up, full of helium, to $15,000, $20,000 once again. I am optimistic about the what exactly is going to happen with Backed. I hope that we can pass by the 10,000 level. I don't think it's that difficult for us to even pass by. Like, I don't realistically in any way, shape, or form think that it's difficult for us to pass by 10,000 again. I think it's a lot of the sell orders and the shorts that we have against the price of Bitcoin right now that may be a bit of a problem. Hopefully we have a gigantic short squeeze. That would be absolutely wonderful, where we kind of just breeze past all those other people who are betting against the price of Bitcoin and hoping that it kind of falls down. A lot of the things that I do worry about, and I've mentioned them maybe once or twice before, and it's simply because we're not in 2019 yet. It pretty much comes down to there's a lot of weight behind the CBOE, the Van Eck Solid X Bitcoin ETF getting pushed through. Like, everyone sincerely believes that in February of next year that we're going to have this happen. Like, it's all but a done deal that we're going to have this. And we've thought that before about other Bitcoin ETFs, and we haven't had them. Bitcoin's price went up around 8, 10, 15%. And then slid back down when we didn't have it. So if everyone in the world is expecting this Bitcoin ETF to go through, and therefore the price of Bitcoin also going up as well in February, and then we don't end up having this push through, this is where we get this number kind of, coming to life. Another thing that also has me worried that we're still November, December, 8 months away from, but is going to be a major talking point in the middle of 2019, is when all of the money from, what's it called? Mt. Gox. When that's finally given back to the people, and it's not given back to them in cash, it's going to be in the cryptocurrency that they lost before, which is Bitcoin. And if we have a bunch of people around the world who are going to be receiving 15,000, 25,000 Bitcoin back at the exact same time, and I told you guys before, don't think for a second that the people who have been burned by Mt. Gox and have lost now millions of dollars aren't going to sell off their cryptocurrency so that they can have their millions of dollars or yen or euros, wherever these people are living, and therefore be able to buy a nice house and something nice for their family. You're probably mistaken. Don't think the people who have not had their millions of dollars for the last couple of years are not Bitcoin maximalists. They don't really care about the price of Bitcoin. They care about the money that will bring them into the future and lead them to having a happy life. These, not to end this segment on a down note, but we do have a lot of other hurdles that we need to pass over. And these are kind of two of them. It's February, and it's the Mt. Gox thing. Once we pass those two hurdles, unless something else crazy ends up happening and Satoshi ends up coming back and telling us that Bitcoin is, so-and-so, and we have to change the code, it could be relatively smooth sailing at that point, because there doesn't seem to be anything else hyper detrimental standing in Bitcoin's way. But yeah, let's move on. Dash is in the news. Crypto project Dash has announced the launch of Dash Text, an SMS-based cryptocurrency transaction service for Venezuelan users, as it builds on its already strong presence in the crypto-dependent country. In an announcement released this week, the company said that Dash Text eliminates the need for Venezuelan users to possess smartphones and internet access to carry out crypto transactions, which has historically been a significant barrier in adoption to the impoverished country suffering from hyperinflation, driven by several months of hyperinflation, which have now rendered the bolivar potentially worthless. Not even, but it's worth less than dirt, and I don't mean that as a joke. Like a bag of dirt is worth more than their currency. Venezuelans have increasingly turned to cryptocurrencies as a solution, and has been illustrated by a series of well-published indices. Dash is looking to build on the success it has recorded and cashing in on the trend by targeting millions of Venezuelans who are not able to partake in the crypto economy because they do not own smartphones or they cannot access the internet. That's my goodness, that's sad. The solution to the problem was built in partnership with BlockCypher, which specializes in blockchain solutions and blockchain agnostic products that enable users to engage with multiple cryptocurrencies through one platform. We had news about Dash Text. It's had to be 3 or 4 months ago. There's a cryptocurrency. It's not even a cryptocurrency channel. There's a YouTube channel. I think I clicked on a Dash video, and I see their stuff now. It's this guy who lives in Venezuela, and he is pretty much paying in Dash everywhere that he goes, and he's just showing people how like the ease of doing it. Doesn't have a lot of views. I don't think that's the point of his channel, but I think it's he's trying to show people that it is possible to be able to pay in Dash, because even in some of his videos, he's going around to, I think he went to a Subway or something like that, and he tried to pay in the local currency. It didn't work. He tried to pay with card. Their machine was down, and the only thing that was working was their like Dash payment system. So the fact that this exists, I wholeheartedly applaud the Dash team for being able to realize that there is a problem. I hope that they also end up doing this in Argentina as well, or hopefully also what would be great is in a lot of African countries where they have no access to internet. A lot of them don't even have the chance to, and being able to transact like it would kind of be similar to the M-Pesa. So I kind of get where that's going. But just to have the option of being able to transact in cryptocurrencies through text is also really amazing. I wonder if they'll also end up releasing this around the world. I feel like this would catch on relatively quick, simply because we have a lot of other cryptocurrency projects who are creating their own apps, their own dApps and stuff like that, that are being rolled out into the iTunes store and also to the Google Play Store. That have to do with cryptocurrencies. I feel like a lot of people would definitely catch on to using something like this. Like I'm not in the States, but there's an app that you can use. Oh gosh, what is it? Like money pay, money tap, money something, that people in the States are now using to like send their friends money back and forth through the app. I feel like something like this would also catch on relatively quick as something that people, I would probably, if I could send cryptocurrencies through text and not have to like worry about having credit on my phone, I feel like that's also something that I would definitely do, probably not on a daily basis, but I would definitely make use of it at least 4 or 5 times per year. But once again, very good for the Dash team. I hope they continue what they're doing. And yeah, yes, side note, the price of Dash is also up because of this. There hasn't been any, or rather much other news as far as like what's happening with the project. It's more like Dash has become incredibly popular in Venezuela. What I hope for the cryptocurrency space in general, for people who are into cryptocurrencies, I hope that enough people within Venezuela at least have a portion of Dash, so that when hopefully prices do eventually go crazy once again, they can benefit from the price spikes. I didn't even realize that at one point Dash was like $1,500-$1,600. So especially because it was like $4 or $5 floating around here, which is actually kind of crazy. I hope that they continue. I hope that people in Venezuela, I would love if they just completely switched to cryptocurrencies, not even the the country's cryptocurrency, whatever that thing that the president made. I would love if people in the country just exclusively used Dash, Zcash, and Bitcoin as their like, payment methods to be able to get around. Yeah, but let's move on. eToro is in the news. The popular multi-asset trading company known as eToro announced it is supporting a new coin on its platform called Binance Coin. The currency linked to the Binance cryptocurrency exchange is the 13th largest virtual currency to be added to eToro. The information was released by the company in a recent tweet. Users at eToro will now be able to trade Binance Coin on their platform. In this way, the number of cryptocurrencies supported continues to grow. eToro currently lists Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, XRP, LTC, Ethereum Classic, Dash, Neo, Stellar, IOTA, and Cardano. Here's the actual tweet. I just wanted to touch on this quickly because it's interesting how many people or cryptocurrency exchange platforms are adding Binance Coin. It kind of feels like it's completely out of left field. Like there's so many other coins that could be added to other platforms, but this is like the 5th or 6th place that we've heard of the last 8 days that has added Binance Coin. Like I get the point of Binance Coin, but a lot of people are speculating that it could be like a, what's it called? Not a stable coin, but people have seen before in the past that as the market is moving and fluctuating in weird ways, that people have kind of cashed out into Binance Coin because they kind of trust it sometimes a bit more than they do other stable coins. I don't know what the future of Binance Coin holds, but it's probably safe to say that as it's constantly being added to different cryptocurrency platforms, a lot of people are probably going to be using it or diving into it or putting their money into it, maybe potentially speculatively, as the prices of cryptocurrencies go back up. This is just another platform that's adding Binance Coin that's not Binance, and I think that's kind of interesting. I wonder if when we do, I'm still certain at a certain point, we're going to have a Coinbase coin or a coin. I wonder if other platforms are also going to add coin, or what the what's going to kind of end up happening. Anyway, let's move on from this. Next up, a report published in October by 1Alpha revealed that Bitcoin's market was gaining strength after the 2018 correction. The stability of the last weeks is a sign of maturity of the markets that seem to have passed the hype stages, both bullish and bearish, of the previous months. 1Alpha is an Israeli firm, part of the First Digital Assets Group, a fintech that defines itself as the leading digital assets group in Europe. According to the report, the current bearish trend was necessary. This decline in the market served as a relief and generated a cleansing effect on the ecosystem. The fact seems to prove that 1Alpha team right. After the abnormal bullish streak 2017, many people entered the market in an abrupt and immature way. The 2018 correction seems to be given Bitcoin back the stability needed to gain major credibility as a market instead of its previous bubble image. This has been spoken about by a lot of people. A lot of people think that it was incredibly necessary for the market to actually have this crash. We needed to shake out the weak people, the people who jumped into the market. It's pretty sad because a lot of people, like I've said before, people who should be in the market are completely gone. They probably see crypto as a fraud, as a farce, and they don't really realize the other people who are actually getting into the cryptocurrency market over here. They think that crypto is completely going away. But a lot of people say that it was incredibly healthy, that we needed this. They said, from our perspective, the prolonged bear market provided the sector with a much needed relief, lower valuations to a more sensible level. Despite the considerable correction, a large portion of the value represents the future potential of the network rather than its current one. The December 2018 and January 2018 boom and bust had a cleansing effect on the ecosystem, removing many of the speculators and leaving mainly real investors, operators, and builders in the market. This is what was necessary to move forward and build a successful ecosystem, end quote. The report is clear in dividing the cryptocurrency market into different branches. The first one is composed of well-known cryptocurrencies. For Alpha 1, 2018 has been a year during which Bitcoin has strengthened, recovering part of its influence taken away from other altcoins. They said currently Bitcoin is gaining strength and captures more than half of the total cryptocurrency market. Ethereum captures 10% of the market. There are currently more than 2,000 traded crypto assets and more than 1,000 unique tokens worth around $14 billion. 87% of tokens are Ethereum-based. That's crazy. With Neo and Waves capturing around 2.4% each. Of this valuation, it is noticeable that Bitcoin captures about 71% of all currencies and 54% are captured by Ether of all platforms. That is absolutely insane. I had no idea that 87% of tokens are Ethereum-based. Once again, leading to my speculation that Ethereum probably isn't going to go anywhere simply because of people don't realize how much money is being put into Ethereum or like what's being built on top of it. Point of the story is this was, even though we didn't want it, none of us wanted this crash. A lot of people are saying that it was desperately needed. To be fair, Bitcoin did go from, I think, like 5,000 to 20,000 over the course of like a 3-week period. So maybe that's a bit unhealthy. This sideways movement that we've been seeing has been, a lot of people, major analysts in the financial and cryptocurrency space have been saying that we needed this to show that Bitcoin, A, is capable of stability, and also B, to show that the market is maturing and that hopefully the next run up that we have doesn't result in another massive bubble. But we did have that other article before where I was saying that I'm afraid of Bitcoin hitting $100,000. The article also said that simply because this is another, we need to hit 100,000 slowly. If we go from a situation where Bitcoin hits 20,000 and then 60,000 and then next couple of weeks hits 100,000, I would suggest that many people should potentially then look into a stable coin because many people expect if we hit 100,000 very quick, the market's probably going to fall back again. But good news is we'll probably fall to around like a $30,000 Bitcoin and not a $6,000 Bitcoin, if that's any consolation. All right, let's move on. Last up, China's in the news because why not? They're in the news every single week when it comes to cryptocurrencies. The People's Bank of China, or the PBOC, the country's central bank, is looking to clamp down on airdrops or free distributions of crypto tokens. In its financial stability report for 2018 released on Friday, The PBOC said that disguised ICOs, including airdrops, continues to grow in number despite its previous efforts at cracking down on sales of tokens. For instance, it said some crypto firms are moving their projects overseas and using agents to invest on behalf of investors in China. Other projects are not issuing tokens in public or directly raising funds, but rather are giving away free tokens while reserving a part of the total supply. These firms then try to use speculation in the secondary market to jack up these tokens' prices in order to reap profits that the bank added. Given the statistics, the bank said there were 65 completed ICOs in China up until July 18th of 2017, only 5 of which were completed prior to 2017. Further, it adds over 105,000 people participated in the sales, providing total funding of around 2.6 billion yuan, accounting for more than 20% of the total sum raised in the global market at the same time. Periodly, messed that all up. The central bank said that it needs to remain highly vigilant and to coordinate with other agencies to monitor the crypto industry in order to educate and protect investors, because I would love to be protected against free money. I think that's what everyone wants to be protected against. For those who have never received an airdrop before, have no idea what airdrops are, it's kind of exactly like it sounds. As ICOs have been clamped down upon around the world, and many people, or rather many governments, don't care for ICOs and the potential of a bright future that they may bring, because the government does not have control over how the project is being funded as it normally would with an IPO going through a stock market. A lot of crypto projects have thrown aside the ICO model and have turned to airdrop. Simply, they find a way to privately raise money, 3, 4, 5 million. It doesn't cost an extremely large amount to create a blockchain, regardless of what many people might think. And simply, a lot of the airdrops have been like, we have airdrops as well on EOS. So if you hold EOS, you tend to receive the airdrop on like a one-to-one basis. So if you have 500 EOS, you then receive 500 of this new coin. And as is expected, that EOS will have at some point like thousands of airdrops on top of it. You will then receive 500 new coins for those projects 1,000 times. It's kind of how they work. And you usually get them if you have other coins. Like they can't haphazardly throw you coins when they don't even know if you have an address. So it typically is if you are holding another coin, you tend to get these airdrops. This has been the reason airdrops were invented is a way to circumvent things like this, governments trying to clamp down on them, because not only do you not have to put money into an ICO, you simply have to hold another coin, which is legal inside of China, as we learned last week. You can legally hold Bitcoin and also transact in it, but you cannot do a cryptocurrency exchange trade back and forth, which is also perplexing that the price of Bitcoin hasn't shot back up, because we now know that people in China can legally hold Bitcoin. Side note, but it's very interesting that this is happening. This is another way, and I can't say that. How do I phrase this? I like that people in cryptocurrency are innovative enough that they can figure out how to continue their projects. I guess that's the nicest way of kind of saying it. A lot of countries and governments, if you have not noticed, are very unhappy with what's happening right now, because they've been in power for so long, and they realize that they cannot control every single aspect of cryptocurrencies. I personally like airdrops. I think they're a great way. I actually prefer airdrops over ICOs simply because if your project is good enough, it should have a Bitcoin-like effect, history, something behind it. Like, I shouldn't have to give you 1,500 euros to be able to receive your coins. If your coin in your project is real and you are going to do as you say, airdrop them. Let people have them for free. Prove to us that you are capable of doing what you say. If you are hyper decentralized, if you are able to do this, if you are going to be the smart contract platform, then, kind of how it goes. It's interesting. I mean, can't say anything too crazy, but it's interesting to see how governments are reacting to this entire thing. I am not a coder, like I've said myself before in the past, but I wonder exactly what other cryptocurrency projects are doing that are similar to this. Like, I mean, I'll put it this way. 6, 7 years ago, 10 years ago, we did not see a world where we would have Bitcoin or Ethereum or XRP or Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin Cash, anything, all the other coins. We also didn't see a future where we would have ICOs or airdrops or smart contracts. I wonder what these crypto people behind the scenes are also making, because I'm pretty sure there are a couple other ways to circumvent governments' not liking cryptocurrencies that we just you and I haven't probably thought of, but I'm pretty sure there are other very inventive ways that they can think of to spread crypto even further. All right, everyone. That's definitely going to do it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed. We have nothing but very good news nonstop. I hope that this ends up being reflected in the next couple of weeks. I'm trying not to get my hopes up as we get closer to the holiday season. I am desperately trying to keep my hopes down for everything, just because I'm not trying to get myself hyped up for potential movement in price. I think the major deciding factor is going to be the 12th of December when Bakkt officially launches. No, and they're launching on December 12th. Let's say December 19th. After a full week has gone by and a full week of 24-hour physical Bitcoin trading has been going on, let's see if we have any major price movements. Let's not hold our breath for the exact 12th of December, but see exactly what ends up happening. Hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all are having a great day, morning, afternoon, and or evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. Thank you once again for watching and or listening. I do appreciate all of your support. You guys and gals are all awesome. Thank you once again. And yeah, I'll talk to you all soon. See you.